is the Schmo on the go. We're here at Ford Country inside Mustang Sally's Diner. We're going to be meeting with OSP, chopping it up after his big victory at UFC Vegas 88. Let's do this. This is the Schmo with the Pro. He's 27-17. He's got the most amount of fights in UFC light heavyweight division history, the second most finishes, the most amount of Von Flue choke finishes in UFC history. He's Ovince St. Preux in the flesh, Mustang Sally's Diner, getting our St. Patty's Day celebration on. How we doing?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
The Schmo can't complain. That's a pretty good cup of Joe or a cup of Schmo right here for the victory, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Definitely good coffee. I'm a little sleepy, so it's keeping me awake right now.
Yeah. Getting that big split decision victory against Kennedy Nzechukwu. When it came down to the judges' scorecards, how confident were you that you'd be the one getting your hand raised?
Extremely confident due to the fact that now when you look at the fights and stuff, you look at fighters pressuring and stuff. You know, I'm used to being a counter fighter, but this fight I came in a game plan. I got to be more of a pressure fighter. I think I did a good job pressuring him.
40 years young, you took a year off before this fight, but now you want to fight one or two more times. What gives you the confidence to keep going, OSP?
My body just feels great, man. Like, it feels really good, even with the weight cut and stuff, and even going into the later rounds and whatnot. I felt my body just felt great, and I know it can feel a lot better too.
You're one of the OGs in this sport. You've seen a lot of different changes. There's a lot of different moving parts. You've also gone up to heavyweight. You've also now are competing back at light heavyweight. Why do you think you didn't stick around at heavyweight, OSP?
I mean, they big and they hit hard. I mean, the heavyweights now are a little different than the heavyweights back then because they're a lot faster. Like a lot of heavyweights now, they're a lot smaller, but they're still bigger. But they're faster, stronger, and of course, heavyweights hit harder or whatnot. And they're harder to knock out too.
Where does your former opponent Jon Jones fit in this category? Because he's someone who's obviously created his legacy at light heavyweight, is now going up to heavyweight. He's the champion in the heavyweight division. What do you make of him going up there, and why he's been successful?
Jon been successful. He's like his IQ, fight IQ is ridiculous, man. It's off the charts. He probably has the best fight IQ in that game right now. And even when he fought Pereira game, he just like. Pereira did one mistake and he capitalized on it. And that's the thing I tell people a lot of times when, you know, whichever division that you in, either heavyweight, light heavy, middleweight, welterweight, or whatnot, when you fight guys, you get in the top 15, everything is good. You still can put people out in the top 15. But when you fight guys and you put them in the top 5 to top 3, like the margin of error for you to put them out is very slim because you get a guy like Glover. How many times he been in trouble, he came back and turned around and beat people? Because people don't realize that margin of error, he's been there, he's done that, he know how to fix that. And Jon IQ is that of too. He's going to have you figured out before you have yourself figured out.
Well, we talk about this old school versus new school over the weekend. During your fight weekend, he went face-to-face with Tom Aspinall, who's the interim champion in the heavyweight division. Do you see these two showing down? And if these two have that showdown, who do you see as successful?
Man, I don't know, because Aspen, he's like really tricky for a heavyweight. He shouldn't move like that. He has good shots. He has good level change. He has good boxing. His wrestling is actually pretty good. Like his movement is actually like really, really good, and he has power. But then on top of that, you get Jon, who's again IQ is extremely different. But Jon can give you everything. He can show you one thing and basically setting you up for something else. Submission skills are off the charts. His wrestling is always going to be good. And you always got to watch out for his elbows too. So I couldn't even tell you. Like, for me, in order for me to find out, because I know the longer the fight goes on, Jon has a better chance of winning or whatnot, just because he's one of the fighters that pretty much the 4th and 5th round, he owns those rounds or whatnot. But also too, you know, making that jump up to heavyweight or whatnot, trying to move a big body like that could be the difference. It could be a little bit of difference because somebody that weighs in at 205 and then the next day they're 220, they're still relatively easy to move. But somebody that walks around 245, 250 on a consistent, they're pretty hard to move on a consistent because that'll get you tired a little faster. So it depends how good his cardio can hold on within the 4th and 5th round. But knowing him, he'll have it figured out anyways.
UFC 300's right around the corner. Your former opponent, Jamahal Hill, he was the former light heavyweight champion. Vacated the belt. Alex Pereira, the current champion. Those two are going to be headlining that fight card. What do you make of the matchup, and what do you think is going to be the key for the one to have their hand raised?
The matchup is definitely a good matchup. I don't think this fight is going to the ground at all. More than likely, to be honest, it's going to be like who can eat who shots the best. And the only thing about it is Jamal's coming from an injury. I don't know how Alex is going to capitalize on that. Alex do have a vicious low calf kick that pretty much can cripple a lot of people. So I don't know how that's going to hurt. I don't know if that's Jamal's back leg or is his front leg. If this is the right leg, he can probably be in trouble if Alex start kicking that leg. But if it's not his back leg, if it's not his front leg, and it's his back leg, it might be a slugfest. And to be honest, Alex is the type of guy that comes in. A lot of guys want to stand up and box him or whatnot. But it's gonna be I think it's gonna be unique, or it's gonna be interesting for the simple fact Jamal don't care. Like, if you have a person that in front of you don't care, who's just going to stay in front of you and bang or whatnot, and you throwing, he's throwing or whatnot, now you put yourself in a 50-50 shot. So Alex is good at countering. He has a good kickboxing background or whatnot. And Jamal is a big light heavyweight too. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I think it'll go back and forth, but I don't, as of right now. And the only reason I'll give a slight edge to Alex, just for the simple fact, he's actually been more engaged, or he actually been fighting. Jamal hasn't fought in over a year. I don't know how his injury is going. If I would have seen a previous fight, I'd have probably put him like neck to neck. But I have just a slight advantage for Alex, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jamal put him down.
There it is. Now you're 40 years young. What do you have left to accomplish for you to feel satisfied in this great sport of mixed martial arts?
A little bit of everything. I mean, 40. When you say 40, ends up being a number. Glover made sure that was end up being a number or whatnot. But also too, man. I tell people too. Like, I just kind of realized the other day when I was sitting down, pretty much anything in the light heavyweight division, I'm pretty much top 3 in the light heavyweight division. When it comes to knockout submissions, when it comes to bonuses, when it comes to, I guess I'm number 1 in fights right now. So right now it's just like me accomplishing as much as I can get. But at the end of the day, my end goal is still to get the belt. And to be honest, I tell people in the past of what, 10, 15 years, it was between Jon and DC. In the past, what, year and a half, 2 years, how many times the belt's been changed around now?
Quite a few times.
Yeah. So, my eyes is still on the gold.
How's that coffee?
Actually pretty good. It's strong too. It's actually pretty good.
You got some sugar in there? You do cream as well?
Yeah. I try not to put sugar in there, but I'm not fighting right now. I just got in the fight, so I'm good now.
It's good now. It's a victory celebration. Can we get a final message for all the OSP fans out there worldwide?
Just expect me to be out there. I'm just a lot more hungry. My body feels good. Came out this camp and I pushed myself. I could have pushed myself a little more. Now it's just going back home. I'm gonna take about a week off, and once I take that week off, come right back in it. I want to try to hit everything hard. Try to make my body be. I tell people this. It's just like this game right here hurts. Like I got me a little shiner from my last fight. Get a little bump and bruises. I'm gonna get those treated and healed up. But again, I put myself in the gym and train my body to deliver punishment as long and receive punishment. So I'm gonna get back in there and do some work.
You wear it well. He's the pro. I'm the Schmo here at Mustang Sally's Diner. Shamrock Shake time. We're out.